Hey, welcome to Have a Chat, where I talk with a Spark member in about a 20-minute quick coaching call about one issue that the Sparkle could use some help with. And here's the thing, if one person has a question or an issue, you can be sure that others, and maybe even you, also have a question or an issue and could benefit from listening to the Have a Chat that I'm having with a Spark member. So let's go. Let's get her done, as they say here in the Maritimes. I am delighted to introduce Nadia, and I'm actually going to let Nadia introduce herself. So tell us who you are, who you work for, and then what the issue is that we're going to talk about.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Cathy. So I'm Nadia Heyd, and I work with East Scarborough Storefront, and we are a community development organization in the East End of Toronto. We're in one of Toronto's, what Toronto used to call priority neighborhoods. So our work is really to ensure that everything we're doing is not just lifting up individuals in our community, but helping the whole community thrive. And the way we do that, most people know us as a social services hub. That is how we were founded about 20 years ago. It's actually our 20th anniversary this year.
Congratulations.
And
yeah.
Yes, and we were founded because there was a lack of social services in the area and a number of people trying to provide them in a really piecemeal kind of way. So somebody had the bright idea, let's try and do something together. So we opened a storefront inside of the old Morningside Mall, and we invited a number of different service providers to come and do what they do best. And we still have the service hub that day, but we've really branched out beyond social services because our community was telling us services are great, they help individuals, but we need the whole community to thrive. So we took on more of a community development approach and looked at other ways that we could do that beyond providing services. One of the ways we do that is just providing meeting spaces for community members to get together and work on challenges that they want to see change in the community. Another way we do that is we run resident leadership programs. So we support residents of different ages, whether it's youth groups or seniors or adults, really anybody who wants to make a difference in the community. We have staff on we call it our grassroots leadership strategies team, who support residents to be leaders in their communities. We also have some physical resources on the outside of our building, which include a fabulous sports court and a number of community gardens. We have an herb garden right in front of our building that anybody in the community can come and help themselves to some herbs throughout the summer. But we also have a more fenced off, like not private, I mean it is a community garden, but it has garden beds, and we give access to gardeners who live in the nearby community through a system. So today, the thing I wanted to talk to Cathy about and get advice.
Interject. Full disclosure, I know you. I've known you for many years, and I know the organization quite well because we worked together for many years. Now, did you and I actually work? We overlapped, right? Like I was there when you got hired. So
that's right.
Yeah. So I know East Scarborough Storefront, and I'm a big fan of the work that you do. So if I sound like I really know a lot of inside baseball stuff, it's because I kind of do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You may still know more than I do. It takes a while to learn the storefront. There's so much to it. Anyway, the challenge that I wanted to talk to Cathy about today was capital repairs to the storefront. Our sports court was installed in 2014, I think, was the grand opening. So, time leading up to it to design it and plan it and envision it. But it actually opened in 2014, and it is showing its age in a lot of places. And we figure there's about $200,000 worth of repairs that need to be made. So it is not a small potatoes kind of project that needs to happen. Yeah. And I have very little experience on a capital campaign. In fact, none. So okay. I'm starting at zero.
Okay, awesome. So when we had originally talked about this leading up to today's call, one of the things you asked was like, can I take this and turn it into a capital campaign? how does it integrate into the annual fundraising that I'm already doing? And I think, so I actually love that question. And this is such a great example of how, well, this is a great example because it's so concrete, literally and figuratively, because I guess I don't know if it's concrete.
Yes, there's going to be actual concrete work.
Okay,
So
yeah, there we go. All right, so I just want to start by talking a little bit about like the difference between, you know, capital campaigns and annual campaigns. And I once read this great analogy, and I wish I could remember the guy's name who I read it from. But he was saying like the difference between a capital campaign and an annual campaign is like the difference between doing a kitchen renovation and paying your utilities every month. Paying your utilities every month is not particularly exciting, but that's kind of what you're doing in your annual campaign, right? You're trying to raise money to support the ongoing programs and services that you deliver. Doing a kitchen renovation, however, is super exciting, and you get to see the transformation. You know that you're going to be able to invite people over for dinner, and they're going to be able to share in your fabulous kitchen and see the fabulous kitchen. So it's exciting. There's usually a time limit to it because the project is going to come to an end. Annual fundraising just keeps going on and on and on. So there's that, the time factor, and there's a sense of urgency. And a kitchen renovation, think about it like you don't have your kitchen for a little while and you want to be able to get back to cooking and doing dishes. So I think it's a useful analogy to think about because some of the principles in a capital campaign stem from that, right? And so a sense of urgency, there's a time limit, so you kind of have an end date by which you need to raise this money, so that creates more of a sense of urgency. And well, those are the big ones: time limit and urgency. And you know what you need to do in an annual campaign to a certain degree is create a sense of urgency. And there is urgency because those programs have to run every year. But you're now, what you're trying to do is, I think what you should be trying to do is integrate like a special campaign for the sports court into your annual giving campaign. So it does a couple things. One is that, and so here's some inside baseball. I know that you've had some success with major gifts this year. And so what integrating a capital campaign into your annual giving campaign does is that it really gives you a great opportunity to develop the infrastructure and build your muscles that you need to be doing major gift fundraising. So that's one thing that's important. And I actually think this is a perfect example of a way to now say, okay, I now have a goal of whatever I need to raise for my annual fundraising. And I need to keep doing that. Like you can't stop doing that. But I also have this special project that I need to do. And one of the challenges whenever you're running a special major gifts campaign, while you're also trying to raise money for your annual campaign, is that sometimes donors get excited about the special project and they direct their funds to the special project, and your annual campaign sort of suffers as a result, kind of cannibalizes. So you want to make sure that as you're developing your strategy, if you're talking to your existing donors, that you're asking them to consider both your annual ongoing support that's required, and give a stretch gift as part of this special project or special campaign that you have going on. So I think, so that's part of it. You can stop and interject and ask me questions at any time. Nadia.
Actually, I want to throw a ball into the juggle of this. Just this week, Community Foundations of Canada announced some big infrastructure money. They're the intermediary for giving out some federal money for infrastructure projects. And I do think that we're going to pursue that. We're going to look for some money there. But I also know that we have some supporters who helped us put the sports court there in the first place. So when we're thinking about money for this whole project, I guess it's also like, how do I engage the partners who got us the original structure and apply for the infrastructure money at the same time. So it's sort of, I don't know, I guess I'm asking about the approach to re-engaging the previous donors and looking for the federal money at the same time.
So there's the art of fundraising, right? Is how do you get it all done? So I guess my first question to you is, what kind of engagement has the organization done with those sort of funders who supported the initial project?
So yeah, I've been looking into it in the last couple of weeks, and I'm asking for some introductions to people who, I haven't really been engaged with in the last little while, but I know that people in the organization have. So one of the partners has already offered, like, before we knew about this federal funding, it was just announced on Tuesday. And before that, I was just starting to talk with my colleagues about, all right, well, we need to raise money for this. Can you please introduce me to the people who funded it the first time around? And a response I got from one of my team members was that one of the funders already agreed to cover one piece of the work. So of course my brain is like, okay, which piece and how much money is that? And can you introduce, I need to know. But now that this federal money is in front of us, I feel like the team has already kind of like, whoa, okay, federal money, let's go for that. And I don't want them to forget about the other partners, right? Yeah.
So has there been any stewardship with those initial funders?
Well, the stewardship that has happened, I think from where I sit has been minimal. I mean, they've been on our email list, they've been hearing from us. I can see that they've been opening the messages, but I haven't had direct contact. But I know that others in the organization have. But I don't know specifically,
But you've been doing some basic stewardship with them.
Very basic.
Yes, but it's not like you've fallen off the radar entirely. Like, you're still in touch with them. You do some great emails. Like, I love getting your emails. So you're doing some nice, you do a good impact report. So you're doing some nice stuff.
I haven't met them yet though. Like, I've not been introduced to them. I haven't had a conversation like this, or, like in real life when you actually talk to people. It'd be nice to be doing that again. But I don't feel that close. I feel like there has been stewardship, but it's been very basic.
Okay. All right. So, what we're already doing is talking about the beginning stages of planning for a capital campaign. So the first thing you do is, how much do you need to raise? And I'm sure, as you well know, your estimate will be more than, in real life, it's going to be more than 200,000. So you want to incorporate, some contingency into your total.
I already did that, actually. Somebody told me 180, and I'm like, at least 200, maybe more.
All right. And then you want to, then you begin to look at, okay, who already knows and loves us? So you've already identified, because you had a whack of donors who supported the initial build of the sports thing. And how's the Skyoswell? There's a really cool structure that's sort of a shade structure, but it's also a bioswale, which is a fancy word for a drainage ditch. But it's on the roof of this big structure, right? Like that.
Yeah, there's a green roof there.
So it's really worth it. If you're interested in green things, go and check out East Scarborough Storefront website and take a look at the Skyoswale. It's pretty cool.
We actually have a cistern underneath the Skyoswale that has never been connected to the Skyoswale. So we have this green roof, and you can see that there's this pipe that comes down from the roof that's supposed to go into the cistern, but that part never got completed. There is a cistern.
So you're adding that into the cost.
I would love it if we would. We're talking about that. It would feel like, it feels like the right time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the first thing about a capital campaign is, what's your target, and you might want to actually do a bit of a oh my God, what's it called? A chart, a gift range chart, right? So typically in a big campaign, you're looking for a leadership gift of 10%, or 10 to 20%, or 25% in a great, you'd be lucky to get 25%. For a $200,000 campaign, you don't want to shoot that low. You don't want to be just getting $20,000 and $40,000 gifts, because of the kinds of supporters that you have. I think you can be looking at bigger gifts. And my hope would be that you can do this with 8 or 10 funders. You want to identify who all the original funders are. You're doing all the things right, Nadia. You're identifying who the relationship manager is. Now, your organization doesn't use that language, but who are the people who still have relationships with those funders from back in the early part of the 2010s? And then you sit down with that relationship manager and you say, okay, how can we re-engage in a more, proactive, intentional way? Can you and I have a meeting with the person you have that relationship with so that I can be introduced and we can begin to, pitch the idea to them. So, I've already got it up to $250,000 so that
at least I think
have some little extras. With the kind of funders that you have, I'm really hopeful that you can do it with a couple of handfuls of major donors. I think it's an opportunity to engage your wider donor audience because it's a super exciting initiative.
Kitchen renovation.
Yeah, exactly. So, you might want to also do some mass marketing around it, do some email outreach and social media stuff, have a digital campaign around it towards the end of the campaign, right? You want to get, you don't want to go public until the campaign is, 60% at least raised. Preferably for you guys, I'd love to see you at 80% or 90% and then raise the last 10% through more mass marketing. Actually, you might not even raise the last 10% through mass marketing. I think you want to just get, most of it through bigger gifts, but give the community an opportunity to participate. And then you just need to be really mindful of the fact that you're still raising money for the annual campaign while this is all going on. So that gives you an opportunity to be doing dual asks, right? Like you're now going to re-engage with folks who built the sports court. It'd be kind of interesting to see if any of them would be interested in funding both the physical transformation of the sports court, but also some of the programming.
Exactly. So it's the sports court and all the youth programs, everything that happens on the sports court, and maybe even the adjacent community garden.
Yeah, especially if there's a system, is the system somehow connected to the...
Absolutely, that's the whole point of the cistern was, it was youth who designed it, and they're like, okay, well, it makes sense to collect rainwater. That's a very environmentally sustainable thing to do. What are you going to do with the rainwater? You're going to water the gardens.
Look, this is now turning into a really cool, what we call a comprehensive campaign, right? So you're now extending this beyond just the sports court. You get to talk about all the green components of the sports court, because I know there was a lot of thought put into sort of the green elements around it. There's a friggin' garden on top of that shade structure. You got to talk about the community garden, and it'd be kind of interesting to turn it into a comprehensive campaign so that some of your annual campaign is actually incorporated into the capital campaign. So, now it's $250,000 worth of renovations and physical stuff, but maybe it's another 100,000 of programming. And so you're now talking to donors who have the capacity to give you larger sums of money, and you're able to engage them in something that's really exciting, this tangible thing, and you can really demonstrate how the programming is connected to that tangible piece. Gives you a great reason to get in front of people and talk to them. It's super exciting. Talk about sense of urgency and timeliness. That is, I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Well, and especially coming out of the pandemic, the resilience piece, the needing a place for people to get out and move around and be with other in a physically distant ways. Like our outdoor spaces are the ideal place for all those activities.
Yeah.
Way more so than our indoor spaces.
Yeah. And so because I know your organization a little bit, there is I haven't worked with you guys directly for a number of years, but you can't get rid of me. I just keep showing up to things. There is a tendency towards modesty in your
Mm-hmm.
organization.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a tendency towards looking at what's the least amount of money that we need.
Mm-hmm.
Because the organization has been underfunded, and it has, despite that, has managed to do incredible Herculean feats in the community. And so your opportunity / challenge is to, get the organization
people to pop their collar a little.
Yeah, I like that. Yes, totally. Yes. I like saying it that way. I like that a lot. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
And engage them. And so you have to really make the case that, this isn't just transforming the sports court, that this is the cistern. It connects to the community garden. You now have some green strategies that you can be talking about as part of your capital campaign, and that you connect your programs and services directly to that. And that's all it's part of one big, nice campaign.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. I was so desperate to take notes as we're talking, and then I thought, oh no, we're recording this. I can do that later.
That's right. You'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, me too. It's a really exciting project.
Yeah.
I guess the one piece, I'm so glad to have had the chat, because it's exciting, but a little scary, right? It's something I've never done before. Never tried to do a project like this before. So,
yeah. Cool. Yeah. What a great opportunity for you. And you have the Spark community to be coming to and asking questions.
Absolutely.
I was so, frankly, I was really moved by one of the posts that you posted on Facebook where you were looking for help, and people jumped in, and it was so cool to see you kind of realize, like, oh yeah, I got this. And then you come back a little while later and you're like, not only do I got this, but I got a big, huge gift, because
more money came. It worked.
Yeah. So I think there's I love the fact that you're not doing this alone. You're not doing it in isolation. You've got a community.
Let me say it, Cathy, because it's really a confidence builder. I know that personally, I have felt at the imposter end of imposter syndrome for sure, feeling like I haven't got it. I don't know why that happens. It's such a weird phenomenon, but
yeah, we all do it.
Yeah, I've been there a lot, and it's like telling myself to pop the collar, right? Yeah. But it's not me telling myself, it's putting myself in a community where other people are going to say, pop it, girl, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. This is intended to be about a 20-minute chat. It's a little over 20 minutes. I'm really excited for you, Nadia. I can't wait to see the progress and what comes of this. So make sure that you let us know in the community. And I've got high hopes for this.
Awesome. Thanks, Cathy.
Okay. All right. So thanks everyone for listening to Have a Chat, and thanks to Nadia, our Spark member, for sending in a topic that we could talk about together. And as you could see, it was kind of fun. I'm all charged up about this. If you have a topic you'd like me to talk about with you, send it in, and we'll do a 20-minute quick coaching call. You'll see an announcement because we open it up from time to time in the Facebook group and in the learning platform. So I hope you got a nugget of useful information, at least one nugget of useful information from today's chat, and we'll see you next time on Have a Chat.